Welcome to Call of Champions. If you're new to the mobile MOBA genre, we're here to help you understand the basics of the battlefield so you can get on your way to victory. This is the arena. The base, where you and your two teammates spawn, contains the power node and is surrounded by a protective wall, which is in turn protected by 4 towers spaced out on the map. Destroy your enemy's towers while protecting your own in order to take down the enemy wall, destroy the enemy power node, and win the match. So first, let's talk about the power node. If your enemy is able to destroy the power node, you lose the game. Thankfully, the power node is surrounded by the wall. The wall keeps enemies out of your base and also increases your health regeneration rate when you pass through one of its entrances. Most importantly, the power node is invulnerable to damage until the wall is destroyed. The wall cannot be destroyed until enemies take down one of your inner towers. The inner tower is invulnerable to damage until the outer tower is destroyed. Both towers will deal damage to any enemy who enters into their range of attack. The outer tower has less health than the inner tower, but both towers have a protective shield which reduces incoming damage. However, the orb, which spawns at the center of the lane, can be used by enemies to remove this shield by pushing it into range of the tower. If an enemy is able to push the orb all the way into the base of the tower, its damage will be reduced by more than 70%. Additionally, when within range, orbs deal a small amount of damage to the tower itself, meaning leaving an orb near a tower can destroy it, even if no champion is nearby. In order to keep this from happening, it's important to place yourself in front of your tower. One enemy is unable to push the orb past you, but if you are outnumbered, you will be unable to prevent the orb's progress. As long as the number of champions from each team around the orb remains balanced, the orb will remain at a standstill. But if the scales tip in favor of either team, the orb will begin to push in the direction of the opposing base. The easiest way to push the orb past your enemy is to kill them, more on that later. But let's assume that your enemy has been defeated and you're able to push the orb towards their outer tower. Remember that the enemy tower has a shield that will reduce your damage until the orb is pushed within range, and that the tower will deal heavy damage to you until you push the orb all the way up to its base. Push the orb all the way in to easily take down the tower. Next, you can push the orb all the way to the enemy inner tower and take that one down as well. The inner tower has 50% more health than the outer, so it takes a little longer to destroy. But once that inner tower is down, the enemy base is vulnerable. But don't walk into it yet. Walking within the bounds of the enemy wall will deal high damage over time to your champion. You won't last long enough to get much done. And remember, the power node is immune to damage until the wall is taken down. To take down the wall, push the orb all the way up the track to the pedestal at the base of the wall. Once you get it here, the enemy wall will explode and leave their power node open to attack. So now, all that's left to do is kill the node. The power node has a lot of health, but it does not deal any damage to you. So it should be easy enough to take that node out, right? You'll have to be fast. The match only lasts 5 minutes, meaning that sometimes you don't have enough time to kill the power node, especially if your opponent puts up a strong defense. If the match ends and neither power node has been destroyed, the winner is determined by quantity of destroyed towers, player kills, and damage done to all structures. The most important factor for determining a winner is towers. The team with the most towers destroyed wins the game. If both teams have destroyed the same number of towers at the end of the 5-minute match, the team with the most kills wins. If both kills and towers are tied at the end of the match, the team who has done the most damage to structures, either towers or the power node, at the end of the game wins. It's important to do damage to towers whenever possible, but it's also important to not give your enemy a kill advantage, as either factor could cost you the game. Because both towers and kills are important, it's important to know when to defend and when to attack. One of the best tools for figuring that out is the minimap. You can use the minimap to scroll across the map and determine which of the enemy's towers are low enough to attack and which of your own towers need defending. You'll notice that not everything on the map is visible. Enemies are hidden by the fog of war. You'll lose vision of them when they are not near either yourself, allies, or allied structures. Allies, towers, power nodes, and orbs are always visible on the minimap, so you can check their health and monitor their position. Power-ups are also always visible on the minimap. Power-ups spawn in the space at the center of the minimap between the 2 lanes, but we'll talk more about them later. So now you should have an excellent understanding of the map, the orb, and how to win in Call of Champions. For questions and more information, please visit our forums. Stay tuned for our next video in the Champs 101 series, where we'll talk more about selecting a champion.